Well, all right, we haven't done a video in a little while, so let's do a quick shop update. I've been a little busy lately because I had a whole bunch of modern cars that needed some attendance just to stay on the road, so we did that. And I was off a day here and there in between to do some other things with family. And I just didn't bother doing any videos because, nobody wants to see rocker panels on a Chevy Equinox. And the car came in and we did them in like a day. So it was quick. And there was a few others like that too. But anyway, I got my own car sitting in the shop. We're not working on it. I just like looking at it. But I got so busy and wrapped up in what I was doing, I never put it away for the winter. It was sitting in the driveway. And the other night it got snowed on, so I figured when the last vehicle went out of here, I drove this in. We're talking just a little bit of snow, so nothing major or anything like that, and it don't hurt. But I wanted it in here because before I put it away for the winter in the other garage, I basically just wanted to have a good look at it, check everything over. I'm starting to make a mental plan of what I want to do to the car. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this winter, but I'm hoping maybe spring. If I'm a little bit ahead in the spring. I don't think we got to do a whole entire restoration on this. I think we can clean up the bottom and do that at one time. Throw a paint job on it at a different time. The 301's getting a little boring. There's nothing wrong with it. It runs great. But I did locate a 1968 455 Rocket. Now, in 79, to upgrade the engine to a bigger V8, and including the Trans Am, a lot of Trans Ams have the 301. You'd get basically you had the option of getting a 403 Olds. Now, a lot of guys will pull the 403 Olds out and find a 350 Olds, like the 350 Rocket. Because they look very similar, everything fits, but you get a little more street torque. I thought about doing that, couldn't find a 350 Rocket. However, just so happened a guy I know has a Delta 88 four-door, big old nasty car. It was a running and driving car about 4 or 5 years ago, so low mileage, 455 Rocket. 1968 is like the best year because they had the best compression. The downside is they were made to use leaded gas, so we're going to have to do some mods to the heads. So I was already talking to a machine shop, and they said something about sleeving where the valves go. Look, I'm not an internal engine guy, but basically you can run leaded gas without wearing them out. So we're going to have that done to the heads, and I might run a mild cam, and then I'll locate an intake and a 4-barrel for it. And that'll be more than enough engine for this car. As a street car with that kind of torque, this thing will be great. So that's why that's sitting in here. And we're back on the 68 Firebird. Car's 80% sanded and ready to go. The places where we had to do some filler work and whatnot, for some reason both doors in this area. A little bit on the roof. We cleaned up the whole roof. So the doors now are going to get high build primed with the CRE 321. It's an epoxy primer, but you can block it. You can high build. Trunk lid and roof is actually nice enough. We're just going to seal it. Then the tail pan. The last paint job, they never repaired around where the seam sealer would go, so we cleaned a lot of that out. We're going to epoxy prime that all in as well, re-seam seal it after, and then prime it again. This side here, there was some weirdness and cracks in the paint, and there was some bad body work that you could actually see through the paint, so we cleaned that up and made it smooth. So one nice fat coat, and then we'll block it in, so it'll be nice and smooth. We also were a little more attentive. The body lines on this car had a little bit of this going on. I don't know if we can catch it with the camera, but they're definitely better. And all we did is we used the white paint that was on the car as a blocking surface with a DA. And you just kind of hit it till you get that line where it's pretty decent. And again, I'm not saying we're going to go with the nicest, crispest lines on the planet. This was supposed to be a repaint, but we found issues and we had to, there was these weird little spots in the door. Something was failing, so we had to strip that out and fix that up. So even if you're doing a repaint, sometimes there's things you shouldn't ignore. Now, I could have just sanded it smooth and ignored it, but if the paint, how would I put that? If the little bubbles that were letting go was between the paint and the filler, we would have had to sand all the paint off. But what if it's coming from behind the filler? Well, there's no way to know till you take the filler off, and everything seemed sound. We took it off and redid it anyway. And then up here there was a little bit of bodywork that sucked, so we made that smooth. Basically, ding there, 3 little dings here. You can't just really repaint over that. I mean, you can, but like, why, right? So let's try to make it decent. And this is just a nice driver, weekend toy. So we're working on that now. Once it's out, I'm going to back this one up and start stripping the body down. We've already restored the whole bottom of the car, so now we're going to do the top. And this one, as far as I know, we're going to take most of this down to the metal and then build it back up. See some rust down the corner there. The bottom of these panels, we're going to cut those out, put new steel in. Around the back wheels is absolutely perfect. I could show you that, but take my word for it. There's no work to do there. There is a little bit of work to do here on both sides. There's kind of a lead joint and a bunch of filler there, so we'll have to be careful with that. The worst of it, see the pinholes and stuff, and it's not so bad on the outside. It almost looks like you could just cut it out and weld a piece in. But the underside is bad too. So what we're going to do is split the skin from inside and then cut out the inside, make that piece, and then cut this whole thing off and make the outer piece. We'll have to put a piece in up in here too. Once we cut the inside out though, we can see the back of this. We'll probably end up just replacing the whole thing. Now, we were looking at replacing the trunk lid, but this is a 63. We found a few trunk lids. They seem to be about $2,000 to $3,000, and guess what? They're rotting in the exact same places. This is considered good on these cars. So apparently that's the Achilles heel. So what we'll do, like I say, we can fix that. I'm pretty good at that. I'm not worried about that at all. I can fix that so it's just like original. Same on this side. You can see the bubbling and the lead failing and all this. So you're going to come up somewhere. I can look through the back and see rust on the back of the panel, and it seems to stop here. So we'll probably come up to about here. And we'll put a new piece of steel right in there. A little bit of filler. Actually, I don't even think we need filler. It's so flat here. With a little bit of technique and a little bit of patience, we should be able to put these panels in and basically just get the high build primer on them and block them in. Probably going to sandblast all the junk out of here, clean that up. Doors, well, just give you an idea. We'll sandblast the door bottoms and clean them up, but there's no real work to do there. Beyond that, some good epoxy primer will fix that. This side has no rust, no holes anywhere. The other side had been hit and repaired once, so probably rusted underneath the repair. You can see how that's all been redone and blacked out. Frame's all been redone. Gas tank we actually took out of the car and pretty much restored it. It was perfect inside, so we cleaned up the outside and put a nice gray coating on it. I've had this here for a while. The project sort of stalled. For some reason, he wanted to send the steering column away. It needed some work inside. And I just got it back actually a little while ago, so we put that on here the other day, so at least now you can throw the wheel on and move it. So that'll be good. But anyway, that's the update for today. We don't want to make a long video, just wanted to make a video in case, people are out there wondering, hey, you haven't been putting out any videos. Well, you're not wrong. We've just been so busy that I haven't had a chance to do any videos that were worthwhile. And I know there's channels that I like, and sometimes they'll put a bunch of stuff on where they do the stuff you like, but they also do this and that and other stuff and kind of random stuff, and that's okay, but I'm a pretty busy guy. I don't have a lot of time. So I find, you know, even myself, it's like, does anyone want to see me put rockers on a Chevy Equinox from 2011? Probably not. So if it's something dumb and inane, I'm just not going to bother. Usually when I look at those, I kind of, you just want them done in and out. But we are giving up on all the modern stuff. We're going to be focusing on the older stuff. Because I got so busy that I just don't have time to do any modern stuff. So coming down the line, there's a 69 Firebird outside. It's a shell. At some point down the line, once we get through a few of these, we're going to do a Corvette frame swap. Once this one's gone, the Cadillac will be back here. Corvette will go up there, so we can pull the body off the frame swap it. The 69 Firebird that's outside, we're going to bring it in at some point, winter, maybe spring. Just depends how things go. And we're going to do a complete resto mod on that, so it's going to get a 6-liter. The engine's already acquired and being built, so that'll be good. What else do we got? Oh, we've got another 68 Firebird, just like this one. It's coming in the spring, but it won't be a repaint, as far as I know. And I mean, we have it booked. Unless the guy backs out or something, it's going to be a total restoration. So basically, we're going to drop the floor. We're going to do the one-piece floor, trunk pan, rear frame rails. Basically, we're going to go over the car, anything it needs. But I think the best thing to do on it, from what I saw already, the one-piece floor is an absolute. It's going to get full quarters. We're going to replace the front fenders. We're going to go brand new with them, which means they're not going to fit nice, and we're going to have to do a bunch of work to make them fit nice. So that'll make a great video series. His doors, I think, were okay. But once we take the paint off the bottom and see what's there, the car hadn't been on the road since 1982. So it's pretty rough. But it is a 400 car, and it's cool. So yeah, we got a few interesting ones coming down the line. Anyway, that's it for today. Cheers.